This September, we remember the attacks of 9/11 as firefighters reflect on that tragic day and how it shaped their service.
White Bear Lake first responders are making the rounds to connect with as many residents as they can. We'll show you the delicious ways they're reaching out.
I'm Rick Current.
And I'm Tracy Menarchuk. Welcome to the fall edition of Lake Area Beat. Summer is winding down and kids are headed back to school, but for dozens of 3rd and 4th graders, well, they got to celebrate one of the hottest days of summer with the White Bear Lake Police and Fire.
Here's a look at the first ever White Bear Lake Safety Camp.
Gotta make a line! Single line! Single line!
Single file.
Single line! Single file! If you have to use your brakes, you can use your brakes. Alright, it'll slow you down a little bit.
So we're doing a little bit of first aid. Initially what we started with, some EpiPens, some allergic reactions, and then we moved on to CPR.
When someone's bleeding, you put pressure on it and then you raise it up. And after this, we're gonna do the diapers, practice changing the diapers on the babies. Yeah, he cries a lot. A lot.
He's not crying right now. It looks like he's smiling.
Now he's fine.
When the smoke detector goes off, you want to stay low. So you're gonna get off the bed on your hands and knees and you're gonna feel the door with the back of your hand.
What door?
That door, the bedroom door.
Yeah.
All right, open the window. Open the window. Oh, it's already unlocked.
It is.
Oh, that smells like pancakes.
Come on out and go to your meeting place.
It tastes like pancakes.
They've been a good group and well behaved, and they made it easy on me. So, and you know, it's all about them, honestly, in the end. So.
So I think we learned some things.
Yes, we did.
Like 20 kids in my group was 10 too many.
Correct. It was for the
large groups.
For the first time, I thought I'm very well, but
Yes.
yes, the groups are a
Yes.
little big. But otherwise, I think
was
everything
fun.
went off without a hitch.
Yes.
You mentioned the weather. It was so hot.
very
People were
hot.
getting worn out by the end of the day.
Yes.
But I know at our station and a couple others I watched, they were having a good time.
Yes,
So
I think we did a good job, but we need more food
yes, and snacks.
because they were super hungry.
How many total did we end up with?
We had 82. We were supposed to cut it off at 60, but we had such a overwhelming response. We let too many people in.
Yep. Nope, that's good. And
It was good. It was fun.
I see
It was
this-
hard to turn them away.
I
too.
see this thing growing and growing
Yeah.
every year. So
Yes, it was nice. Thank you for your help.
no problem.
It's been quite a summer, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Weather included.
Exactly. It has indeed. We've had all sorts of events going on, which we're going to talk about in this half hour. First, we start with an annual celebration that's been 34 years in the making.
Night to Unite is all about being neighborly, and our production crew found one neighborhood so close, they're like family. Here's that story.
Visit any block party during Night to Unite and you'll find a lot of the same neighbors greeting neighbors, an assortment of summer salads and casseroles,
cheesy potatoes. These are the best.
and fire and police visiting with residents. But we found a party with a little extra love.
Can't let you down. Can't let you down. How are you?
Kevin and Barb Schmidt have hosted the annual Night to Unite party for 20 years. Some neighbors have stayed, while some have moved away, but they all seem to return.
Even though neither my husband nor I grew up here, this really feels like home to us.
Though Leslie Larson moved just a block away, she still considers the people in this neighborhood family. Their kids grew up together and they always kept a watchful eye.
At one point we had a white van who kept going through the neighborhood, and all of us were in a complete uproar, and it turned out it was just somebody who had moved in across the street on the other side of White Bear, and were using it as a turnaround. But because everybody was paying attention, everybody was seeing it, the cops went and had a talk with them and said they couldn't do it anymore because they had us all in an uproar.
Aside from his annual hosting duties, Kevin Schmidt volunteers for CERT, the Community Emergency Response Team.
Hey there.
He says the team has been called upon to help in different ways, like searching for a missing adult in Lakewood Park.
Captain Hager called out and said we need some people up at 3:30 up there, and we got 12 CERT members up there, combed through the area where there's baseball fields and soccer fields, a huge area in a disc golf park, and they did a great job.
All the neighbors we talked to had positive things to say and positive experiences with White Bear Lake first responders.
Actually, my son, we found out for the first time ever that he had a nut allergy when we were having a little party at the YMCA, and he had a nut cookie there. No idea. And the Y called the front desk. The Y called 911 immediately, and the first responders were there within seconds, it seems like.
Schmidt says the commitment White Bear Lake Police and Fire have to the community is amazing and counts neighborhoods lucky to have them. And collectively, these neighbors count themselves very lucky to have each other.
I would not want to be in handcuffs to that.
I understand you get a standing ovation every year at the Schmitz.
Yeah, do you want to know why?
Yes.
So one of the first times that the fire department arrived while I was there, so I got there, they're like, hi, and then the fire department arrived, and they all were like, yay, fire department! And I turned and I said, what? You've never done that for me. Why do you do that for the fire department? And so I kind of guilted them.
now they do that for you
Now
every
they
year.
do it for me.
Yeah.
I think they still do it for you guys, but yeah, I was like, wait, I've been coming here longer.
Yes, it was funny. This was my first year also, and we went in a little squad car with the other chiefs, and they all talked to us for a minute, but as soon as the truck pulled up, boom, they were gone,
Yeah.
and it was time for us to move on.
Yep. So as kids get reacquainted with their classrooms this fall, it's important for parents to get educated too.
Sergeant John Vetti has a great opportunity for parents.
We all want our children to be happy and healthy. As parents, it's important we're informed about potential dangers that can impact our kids. I'm Sergeant John Vetti telling you about a free opportunity to get educated. Every fall, the White Bear Lake Police Department holds a Parent Safety Information Night. We address topics like mental health, teen driving, internet safety, drug trends, and human trafficking. We also have a free dinner. The event is held at White Bear Lake South Campus from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. and includes breakout sessions. You can contact me to register or to find out more information. We've had great turnouts and great feedback from parents in the past, so we're hoping you'll take advantage of this invaluable opportunity. I'll see you next time.
As we mentioned, kids are headed back to school, and White Bear Lake senior and Eagle Scout candidate Zach Van Dyke spent his summer undertaking a huge project.
He's been visiting local businesses and taking pictures of their AEDs to upload into an app called AED Pulse Point. All right, this is getting a little very technical, so let's break it all down as we talk to Zach about his potentially life-saving project. Welcome, Zach. Thanks for coming.
And thanks for doing this project.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Eagle Scout, to be an Eagle Scout, you have to complete a service project, right?
Yes, and it's probably the toughest part of being an Eagle Scout.
And tell us a little bit about your troop 494, is that right?
Yes. So every Tuesday we meet at 7 at St. Stephen's Lutheran Church, and it's a fun-loving church, or fun-loving group, and we're all friends. We really like each other.
And you've probably known the group since you were a little guy.
No, I actually moved here like 4 years ago, so I don't know them too well, but I still love them.
Nice.
I've known them all my life.
Awesome.
So tell us a little more, what is this project and how did you come up with the idea?
So Pulse Point AED is an app on your phone that's for free, and when you first open it, you'll have to make an account, and the next time you open it, it shows you the closest AED in the area. And this could essentially save lots of lives. Chris Voss, who's like my mentor in this, she said that survivability rate of cardiac arrest could change from 9 to 11% to over 50 just with this app.
So you want to tell people what AED stands for if they don't know?
It means Automated External Defibrillator. It's basically those things in the movies where like charge.
Clear and shock people, yes.
Yeah, and Chris Voss does the CPR training and has gotten a lot of AEDs in businesses in White Bear Lake, so she's been kind of helping you with where they're at and like updating and where to check and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Nice.
And she's already done a couple locations as well.
Okay. And so what do you have to do then? You have to go out to the business and...
Yep, we gotta keep getting all the locations into the app. And then we also put these stickers onto windows saying that there is a public AED for use.
Okay. So it has to be a public AED, not maybe like a private business. It has to be a public business that people can go in, or does it matter?
Well, we do also do private businesses, but there's a little part in the app saying you can turn it to private, and like it'll let dispatch and police and fire departments know that there is an AED there in case they don't have one.
Okay, and so you've divided into teams. I heard that you kicked off where? Where did you kick off your...
Yes, so the first day we actually met right here in this track field on the day of...
Relay for Life.
Relay for Life.
Yes. And you divided into groups, and is it just your troop that went out, or is it other friends and family?
Yeah, so far it's just been my troop. Sometimes I've gotten a couple helping hands.
That's nice.
With my friends. I got my CPR trainer who is at Century College. He helped me out a bit too.
How many businesses do you think you've been at so far?
We've been at around 40.
40,
so
okay.
far.
Well, good.
Yeah, and so the whole idea of the app is if I have it on my phone ahead of time, you have it on your phone, a 911 call goes out that somebody is down, and if we're close by and don't even know about it, that goes off on my app saying somebody needs help, there's an AED here, I'm trained.
Yep.
I can go and just help a perfect stranger, but I can help them because you and your team have gone out, found where the AED is, you take pictures, right? You put a sticker up, you log it and send that information into the app, and we've potentially saved a life, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome. That's amazing.
How does that make you feel, thinking that you've helped save a life?
It feels awesome.
And we appreciate it, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a great service project that you're doing.
You know, lots of people are saying it's really different.
Yes.
And like really great.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Now, when you grow up, you're a senior in high school, so when you get out of high school, what career path are you going down?
I plan to follow law enforcement.
Good for you. Good job, Zach.
We need some good Eagle Scouts in law enforcement, just like you. Thank you very much for the service that you're doing.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good luck in your career.
Thank you.
As we go to break, what goes better with summer than ice cream? We'll have highlights from Cone with a Cop.
And when we come back, White Bear Lake firefighters reflect on 9/11.
The White Bear Yacht Club has a history dating over a century and a golf course ranked 5th in the state.
Part of that rich history is their caddy program, including awarding scholarships to deserving college-bound caddies, largely supported by members. In our next story, we show you how one young man's hard work paid off in a very big way.
Hey Bryce, how you doing?
Mr. Halberg, good.
Good to see you. Ready to
Good
play?
to see you as well, yes.
All right, time to play some golf.
Good ball.
Thanks, Bryce. So how are things going?
They're going well. How about
That's good.
yourself?
Ready for school?
I am, very much so.
What started 4 years ago, a caddy as green as the hills of the White Bear Yacht Club, has ended in this young man being awarded the Chick Evans Scholarship to the University of Minnesota.
And all of a sudden, I read the top, and the first sentence is, "Congratulations on being awarded an Evans Scholarship for caddies." And it just blew my mind.
Bryce Huber quickly rose to the ranks by quickly becoming a club favorite. His ease among golfers and anticipating their needs is something head golf pro and head of the caddy program, Chris Nathlich, says comes naturally to Bryce.
You either have it or you don't, and that's something that Bryce had in spades right out of the gate, and was able to easily talk to anyone who he had the opportunity to sort of get on their bag. It was a good situation, and we always had really good feedback from the members.
The Western Golf Association has supported the Chick Evans Scholarship Program since 1930. Caddies who apply must demonstrate a financial need, a strong caddy record, excellent grades, and an outstanding character.
You're thinking a little bit to your right?
Director of the Western Golf Association and Yacht Club member Mark Hallberg serves as committee chair of the caddy program and says Bryce is a team player and deserving of the scholarship.
He's a very personable young man. He's very confident. He's very friendly on the golf course. He keeps the chatter going quite well, keeps the player relaxed. He's a good caddy.
The scholarship, which includes housing costs and tuition, is valued at more than $100,000. And as Bryce moves on to a new adventure this fall, he says he'll never forget where this opportunity came from.
I'll probably come back here and hopefully be a member here someday, just so I can teach these caddies that, you know, this is probably one of the best programs you'll ever do in your entire life. Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and driving your moped here to school, or to here, has been worth it.
Nearly 3,000 people were killed during the attacks of September 11th, including 60 police officers and 343 firefighters.
As the world looks back at the tragic events of that day, White Bear Lake firefighters share their memories and how the event shaped their career in service.
Having that desire to want to be a firefighter was something that I always wanted to do. I didn't start until I was 30 though, so it took me a little while to finally get up the courage to actually apply to a department and join.
Nobody in my family is from the fires or law enforcement services or EMS. Nobody was a nurse or a doctor or had any type of medical background at all whatsoever. My dad was a truck driver and my mom worked putting computer boards together. I think it was in my personality to be in this line of work.
My mom tells me when I was 5, you know, a lot of kids want to be a firefighter, want to be a police officer, want to be certain things, and it just never wore off on me.
It was just a normal day at work, and it was at my desk, had the radio on, and remember hearing him saying something about a plane may have crashed into one of the buildings, and didn't think much of it, and then a little bit later they were talking about another plane that had crashed.
He responded to an ambulance call that morning, and I was with our now retired chief, and we were on the ambulance, and he had gotten a phone call. It was before we returned to the station that he responded to that phone call and said a plane just flew into the towers in New York City.
It was a beautiful day, I remember that. It was, you know, bright blue sky. I'm also kind of a plane fanatic, especially military planes, and I'll never forget, I could hear late in the afternoon the sounds of a F-16 circling above me. That was surreal. You know, I'll never forget how quiet it was that night, and to hear the sounds of military aircraft patrolling our skies was, it was something. It was something I'll never forget.
I think it's something that's always in the back of my mind. I know recently I've been reading more stories about some of the first responders that are dying of cancer from that, and so there's always stuff that kind of comes up that makes me remember that day. I don't think it deterred me from ever wanting to become a firefighter. If anything, it probably made me want to become one even more. Just to see that there are people out there that were willing to risk their lives to save others. I think it made me want to do it even more than before that day.
It used to be, was the scene safe? And we always imagined the things we could see. Oh, there's a big fire. Okay, it's not safe. But what we didn't think about a lot then is the things we couldn't see. And we think about that now. I still love to help people. You know, events like 9/11 really didn't instill terror in me. It made me want to be able to help more.
I worry all the time about my employees. Obviously what happened on September 11th was of a grand scale, but there are things that happen across this country every day, and to the point now that some of them don't make the news, but they're still happening. And so it is very concerning to me.
They were going into a situation, they weren't really exactly sure what the situation was. They weren't sure what the outcome was going to be, but they went anyways because that was their job and that's what they were trained to do. And you know, even though I wasn't a firefighter at the time, they were still my brothers and sisters. And I just have the utmost respect for them for doing what they did on that day.
It was more about the terror of the day and what was really happening and all the events that were happening that day. And it was well after the fact for me that it really hit home how many people didn't go home from work that day.
There were firefighters that knew, you know, based on the radio transmissions, they weren't coming back. They knew that, but they did it anyway. I would thank them, you know, for what they did. And we don't think about it a whole lot because it's what we do, you know. but it is at great risk.
So what are your thoughts on 9/11?
Well, I wasn't full-time yet. I was still in paid on-call position. And I remember at my full-time job in the lounge watching the TV, and people kind of made me mad because they were saying, well, why is everybody running into the building? And I'm like, well, that's what firefighters do. I mean, you know, that's why they kind of call us a little crazy bunch, but you know, when we pull up to your house and it's on fire, we go in to take care of the situation. So it was just interesting people's take of, well, why were they going in there?
Yeah.
That was crazy. And it's like, well, that's what they were doing. Their plan was to go up all the flights and fight the fire. You
And
know?
the police officers is to get the people and get them out and get them out of the way for you guys to go in.
Yep, no matter how big or small, they were just doing their job.
Right.
They had no idea that they were going to collapse and everything. So just an interesting take from non-firefighter people that day. So
Well, thank you for sharing.
no problem.
And that wraps up this edition of Lake Area Beat. I'm Tracy Menarchek.
And I'm Rick Current. Make sure to check out our Facebook page and give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Idea how I almost loved that line. I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
And you did really good right here first. Well, the guy was like,
yeah.
I was stuttering in my mind, and you were reading it.
The White Bear the White Bear Yacht Club. I want to say the White Bear Lake. Isn't it White Bear Lake Yacht Club? Is it just White Bear Yacht Club?
Ooh, those tongue exercises this morning help.
Floats with the cops.
Nice. With the fuzz.
I love it.
That's
Thank you.
You gonna work your phone yet, buddy?
I am. They're good. Are they? They are. You should get one.
They're good.